invite Mr. Rajkumar Gupta. He has a focus on zero carbon strategy. Mr. Gupta, feel free to share your thoughts on financing as well, but we'll let you educate us about how do we achieve zero carbon strategy, and is 2050 a reality?
Thank you, Guru, and a very good evening to all of you, and thanks for your time. Let me convey my best wishes on this World Environment Day, and also I would like to thank the organizers of this program for giving me an opportunity to present my views. I'd like to share a small presentation. Let me see. Can everybody see it?
Yes, please.
Yes, yes.
Okay. You see, the world is facing a huge challenge environmentally, and more so on the climate side. And if we look at a human body, and the human body's temperature, if it increases by 1 degree or 2 degrees or 3 degrees, that person is called sick. So we are also approaching to that kind of situation, and this situation needs to be addressed at a topmost priority. So I will be talking on achieving zero carbon emission and our environment management. I mean, I will bring in my company's perspective also, so as to make it more lucid. The policy is to promote environment activities aimed at achieving a decarbonized, recycling-oriented society in harmony with nature. Now, Anis and others have already spoken. I understand that the target for net zero emission is by 2050. And when we talk about net zero doesn't mean that there won't be any emission, but there would be emission, but which will be balanced by absorbing an equivalent amount from the nature. Now, practically, how do? We need to have some sort of a green supply chain management, meaning thereby that we have raw materials which are green, we design green, we procure green, we produce green, we warehouse green. We do the complete cycle is green. Now, coming back to the Paris Agreement, which entails that global temperature has to be brought 1.5 degrees above pre-industrial eras, and the UN mandate says that net emission, by 2050 is the goal. Now, how do we achieve this? Is by reducing, by going to clean energy like wind, solars, and of course, like Anish showed in his presentation, the big polluters are energy and the transportation. And if you go on the electrical side, well, you will be able to reduce some carbon footprint. I will take you to the next slide. There are many ways. There is a huge laundry list how we can help in reducing the carbon footprint. If you see on the right-hand side, in the last 200 years, the annual mean temperature has moved from minus 1.5 degrees to plus 1.5 degree. That shows that the Earth is becoming warmer, and if you see at the slide, it says Earth is 2 degrees more warmer now. And this brings, that all of us need to be extra aware that we, if we have to protect this universe, we need to do little more than what we are doing at present. Few of the things that I have mentioned, I will not read the huge laundry list, is to remove carbon from atmosphere by naturally protecting forests, mangroves, soil, changing our habits, stringent actions by government. We have a lot of laws, but the implementation on the ground is not all that great. So that implementation has to become very good. Now, the manufacturers must produce goods which are, efficient, and then it should have proper disclosures so that people can use it in a rightful manner. As far as corporates are concerned, they must respond to ESG investments and so on. On an individual level also, this is somewhere something I would like to focus on. An individual level, we can do a lot to reduce the carbon footprint as well. First of all, in our school, in our colleges, we were always taught, even to many factories, if you go, it is very nicely displayed that we have to learn 5 R's. That is refuse, reduce, reuse, repurpose, recycle. The only thing is that whatever that we have learned or whatever that we see, we have to bring that in practice. For our good health and for our environment, we should bike more and drive less, means, using less of fossil fuels. Conserve water. Water is a very essential item for sustainability of our Mother Earth. So water needs to be conserved. We have to protect our waterways, and we must switch to sustainable and clean energy. Anish's presentation was quite an eye-opener that, more than 70% of your carbon is coming from basically energy. So that becomes a very important parameter. Now, how do we, another thing on an individual level we can do is to cut down on the fossil fuels. And how do we do that is to have, solar panels in our residences, in our offices, so as to reduce dependence on other forms of energy. Then cut down on electricity, buy an electrical car in place of a fuel car. Now, you see, my core expertise is water, so I wanted to bring water also in play to show what kind of innovation which is happening in the market. And this innovation, while it would help us in sustenance, it's also a business opportunity. The first one is conserving and recovering energy. That means to say we create more and more water plants, mostly on the wastewater side, which are power neutral. That means to say, this wastewater treatment plants consume a lot of energy. So, but at the same time, we can use technology to create energy from a treatment of wastewater. So, in totality, we can create energy neutral treatment plants. Then, recovering nutrients, wastewater has phosphorus and nitrogen, which can be used and, which can be removed and used. And there are other items: improving and greening water infrastructure, conserving and reusing water. Zero liquid discharge is a thing which is very often spoken. That means to say that whatever water comes, the whole water is recycled and reused. This is something, very, very common these days, and many companies are now practicing it. Reducing cost and improving techniques for water monitoring, improving performance for small drinking water systems, reducing water impact for energy production, and so on and so on. So these are some innovative ideas which will not only help sustaining, but also are environmental friendly. Now, on a company level, I work for Toshiba, and Toshiba has a SDG goal on climate. So, the aim of our company is to achieve a 50% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions generated within the group value chain by 2030 compared to 2019 level, and to contribute to realizing a net zero emission society by 2050. Now, this is partly answering what Anish mentioned, that the corporates are not coming forward, and so I would say that some baby steps are being taken, and I believe that in the years to come, these actions will only speed up, and we will move towards a better sustainable world. Now, how do we what actions do we take on the climate change is by investing on energy saving equipment and expanding the use of renewable energy, development of energy technologies using high efficient products, and promoting SDGs, keeping temperature things, 2 degrees above pre-industrial level, which I spoke earlier. So moving forward, we have other policies also on ESG, that is environment, social, and governance. So these policies are in place. This is again to encourage that we become a socially responsible company, and thinking about the future. So on the global best practices that we are imbibing is raising awareness on use of zero emission technology. That means to say the products chosen are based on their greenhouse gas emission reduction potentials. So likewise, greenhouse gases emission reductions through use of battery operated vehicles, and so on, renewable energy and all. Likewise, on the sustainable development on the society side, we have to look at the welfare, equal opportunities, social cohesion, international solidarity, maintenance of human capital. On the economic side, economic growth, together with looking at the environment, consumption of resources, managing risks, and so on and so on. My next slide is very interesting slide. While we would be greening the environment, we have to bring the digital technology and environment sustainable practices, together to make this sustainable thing, really sustainable. So what we will do is what we want to do, and what we are doing is marrying the performance metrics together with governance metrics. So this is what this slide shows, which I will skip. And as a company, Toshiba is the way we are contributing in India is by providing stable power supply for future India, for next India, elevator solutions, advanced battery solutions, which is again a very futuristic thing, and water treatment solutions. So this is all what I wanted to say. As an industry, we are committed to work towards achieving a zero carbon, and looking forward for a net zero emission by year 2030 and then 2050. Thank you very much.